If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Guys, it's that time again. Another 10-week challenge at Farrell's Extreme Body Shape starts July 8th. I joined Farrell over a year ago, and with their help, I've lost over 125 pounds and can confidently say I'm in the best shape of my life. The 10-week challenge combines kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching in a way that is approachable and achievable for any skill level. And ticket listeners, you can get $150 off the cost of enrollment. Head to theticketfm.com and click on the banner on the homepage to learn more. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 70th and Vine or 40th and E Hill.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now they've raised wages again and they're hiring for production operators at $24.11 per hour, which grows to $28.27 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $32.76 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered and open dealerships, bonuses, and vacation for new hires. To learn more or to apply, go to continental-jobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Need service on your home air conditioner? Call the company Lincoln has counted on since 1952, Bryant Air Conditioning Heating. No matter what brand you have, when you need service, you want Bryant's experienced pros working for you. Friendly NATE certified technicians with the tools, training, and technology to restore your comfort quickly. No matter what brand, when you need service, just call Bryant. 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
The Butchery by Venue is Lincoln's premier specialty grocers. Take the quality of Venue home with you with our hand-cut steaks, handcrafted burgers, and locally sourced offerings. Browse our wide selection of specialty products designed to enhance your dining experiences with cheeses, spices, sauces, and more. We also have an exclusive collection of liquors, whiskeys, and bourbon at prices you're sure to love. Stop in to the Butchery by Venue today, located in our Venue at Home storefront at 8th and Pioneers, just 2 doors down from Venue Restaurant and Lounge.
You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place to visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today. Junior Achievement of Lincoln inspires and prepares young people for success. Learn more about the people involved in the organization and the success stories over the years each Thursday from 7 to 8 p.m. for the Junior Achievement Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Brown Shoe Fit has all types of shoes for you to excel this summer. Check out their new Keen and Tiva brand sandals for hiking and Olukai sandals for sitting by the pool. Plus, they're stocked up on Hey Dudes to catch you up on the latest shoe fashion. They also have shoes and brands like Brooks, Hoka, Merrell, On, and many more. Browns has the local professionals to get the proper fit, aided by their high-tech foot scanner by Atrex. Stop by Brown Shoe Fit today, just south of 66 and Q in Lincoln.
This is the Happy Hour.
You guys going to happy hour?
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America.
Yeah, I'll come for a couple.
Here are your hosts, Nick Sainert.
I want to know what it's like to commit a crime without having to spend time in jail.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
C is for chunk.
Brought to you by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome in. Happy Tuesday. This is the Happy Hour, 937 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert and Rico joining you as usual for somewhat of hour number 2, but the lone hour of Happy Hour. Here we are. So, Rico, what's up?
Hello.
How's life?
Going pretty good.
You got a little appointment today?
I do.
Have to leave a little early?
I do. I will dipping out early. No, I'm not going to class, as Nick was apparently said he was going to before. But I do have a little doctor's appointment.
I got the degree to prove it that I was at least enrolled.
But they didn't give you the bug one. They didn't.
Did not.
In the bug.
They should have given me the bug category, Bachelor of Bugs.
Bachelor of Bugs. They should have made. They should have
Should've
given you
made
the
me-
BB.
Should have made me a custom one, just Bachelor of Bugs. 402
Print one off for you.
Go ahead. 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline, the Starter Heyman text line. Both those open for you guys the entire show today, as well as the Starter Heyman Jewelers video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Allo channel 951 if you want to watch us on your television sets. Haven't said that in a while.
Yeah.
So channel 951 is the place to be. We start with a little bit of breaking news. Don't need to play the sounder, though.
But I want to.
How quick can you get there?
How fast can I get there? Right now.
Nebraska football has received another commitment, and this time it's in the form of wide receiver Quinn Clark. Quinn Clark from Bozeman, Montana, is technically a 2-star wide receiver according to Rivals.
24/7 and on 3 was a 3-star.
Okay, so a 3-star is fine.
We always go higher stars.
Higher stars. And he chose the Huskers, who were his lone FBS offer. He chose the Huskers over in-state FCS powers, Montana and Montana State.
Those are 2 good schools.
He also had an offer from Portland State. But he said...
Former Husker receiver, what is his name? There's a receiver up there from Nebraska. He transferred.
At Portland State?
Yes, there is.
You're kidding.
No, I'm like 90% sure. Just look up Husker receiver, Portland State.
We're looking. We're hurrying.
I know. There's one there. I know it for a fact. Not a fact. I'm 90% sure.
Okay, we're looking this up.
Come on.
We're gonna keep.
Please tell me I'm right. Now I'm gonna feel like an idiot if I'm wrong.
We'll search it or sort it by position. That way we can look at wide receivers specifically, and we can. Okay. Darian Chase.
There it is.
Nice.
Darian Chase.
Rico.
There it is.
What a poll. Nice job. Darian Chase.
I was really excited for Darian Chase.
Does he have any statistics? Had a brilliant debut season for the Vikings. Played in 10 games, started 9. He missed the other one with an injury. Ranked second on the team with 54 catches for 579 yards and 4 touchdowns. Darian Chase.
Darian Chase.
There you go. Anyway, so Quinn Clark is coming to Nebraska as of right now. He's listed at 6'5", 190 pounds. Once again, from Bozeman, Montana. Is also a legacy guy, right? Husker fans love legacy commits. He is the son of the late Huskers running back Ken Clark, who Ken Clark was, I believe, a 2-time All-Big 8 selection, if I remember correctly. And so there you go. Nebraska has secured another commitment, this time in the form of Quinn Clark. And the staff, here they are, trusting their evaluation and their ability to develop over lists of offers, which it's fine. It's all right.
I mean, 6'5", 190 pounds seems like a pretty good wide. If you tell me a 6'5", 190 pound receiver out of the state of Texas committed to Nebraska, all of a sudden we're all getting excited. It's just the fact he's from Bozeman, Montana, Montana. That's it. That's it. The evaluation process, like you said, the Nebraska staff trusts their eyes. They do their own evaluations. They saw him. It could help. He's also a legacy guy. Saw him and they thought this is a guy that we need. Add some size to that wide receiver room. You think a guy like that playing up in that cold weather, he's ready for the Big Ten as well. Look, it'll all work out.
So once again, he is at 6'5", 190 pounds. Just to provide more context to the situation. A couple of the wide receivers on Nebraska's roster right now. Billy Kemp is listed at 5'9", 180. Marcus Washington is probably the closest to him at 6'2", 190. But then obviously Quinn Clark's going to have 3 more inches on him. Tavion Thompson, the Lincoln Southeast grad, who we haven't seen really play a whole lot, listed at 6'4", 205.
That's
Here's another one. Here's one.
Carter Nelson is 6'4", 205.
Yep. Sean Hardy, here's one that we haven't talked about. Sean Hardy, 6'3", 190 pounds. Let's see. Okay, here, perfect example. Malachi Coleman.
Oh, yeah.
Malachi Coleman, 6'4", 6'5" range, 185 pounds or so, I would say. So there's that. I mean, that's so probably closest to Malachi Coleman type of size.
Janiran Bonner is 6'3", 200.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm just looking at the other tight ends. They're all heavier, but they're all around that 6'3" to 6'6". So yeah, he's a big wide receiver. Because you got to think 6'5", 190. You get him to college, puts on a couple pounds. If he is, going into his redshirt freshman year or sophomore year, or depending on if he plays this freshman year at 6'5", 210, wouldn't be surprised.
So Nebraska has, we get this text or question on the text line from Scooter from Roca. It says, how many chairs are there in the wide receiver room? Is the room big enough?
So there's a lot of chairs.
402-464-5685, Honda of Lincoln hotline, the Starter Heyman text line. So Nebraska has Davon Hall, Isaiah McMorris, and Quinn Clark now as the 3 wide receivers that they have taken in the 2024 class so far. They brought in, remember, 6 guys in Malachi Coleman, Jaden Doss, Jalen Lloyd, Bryce Turner, Jeremiah Charles, and Demetrius Bell.
Along with 2 transfers.
But I'm saying those are true freshmen, right? So there you have 9 guys where next year you'll have as either true freshmen or redshirt freshmen or sophomores if they stay.
As of right now, the wide receiver room has, and this is counting the seniors, 19 bodies. This is also counting the walk-ons. 19 wide receivers in the room. And if you're looking, there's 2-3 seniors. So, and like you said, so many freshmen.
There's a lot. I mean, you look at this wide receiver room, I guess.
So many sophomores as well. Because you got, there's a couple walk-ons mixed in there. But, Alex Bullock, wide receiver. Sean Hardy, sophomore. Elliott Brown, sophomore. Tavion Thompson, sophomore.
I'm pretty sure
Barron
Sean
Miles.
Hardy, didn't he enter the transfer portal?
Ooh, you might be right.
I have him listed as the transfer portal. And so I'm surprised that they still have him on the Husker website.
He's still on the website.
Let's take a look here.
Tavion Thompson, sophomore, while you're doing that. Barron Miles Jr., sophomore. Ty Hahn, sophomore. Cooper Hausman, redshirt freshman. Xavier Betts, sophomore.
Sean Hardy is currently in the transfer portal.
Okay. Now you take him on. He's still on the website.
He's still on the website. But yeah, Hardy is out. Hardy got a couple offers. Look at this guy.
Isaiah Garcia Castaneda is only a junior.
Sean Hardy's had offers from Maine, Rhode Island, Western Illinois, Connecticut, New Hampshire, and Tennessee at Martin.
Ooh, Tennessee Martin.
Yeah.
Good school.
So anyway, so Sean Hardy's out. But nonetheless.
Still, okay, 18 bodies.
So, I mean, headlined by the 3 seniors, right, that you brought, 2 of those that you brought in, Joshua Fleeks and Billy Kemp. Marcus Washington is also there. As you mentioned, Rico, Isaiah Garcia Castaneda is a junior.
I thought he was a senior.
Xavier Betts is a sophomore.
A 3rd-year sophomore.
Xavier Betts is a sophomore. Now, is there any concern? I mean, text us, 402-464-5685. Feel free to call us as well. Is there any concern on the potential production level of Xavier Betts and IGC, Isaiah Garcia Castaneda, after the kind of years that they've had, right? Where and the way that they left the program previously. Now, I get that it's a new staff, all that stuff. But is there any step back and wait, a little bit of cautious and being patient with Xavier Betts and Isaiah Garcia Castaneda as they go forward here?
I think there's more with Xavier Betts, considering that he quit the program before the season started. With IGC, there's still a cautious optimism because of the breakout game that he had to start the season. And then he seemingly just fell back into the wayside, fell out of favor with the coaching staff, which is the reason why he didn't play much the next few games and ended up entering the transfer portal, leaving the team entering the transfer portal. But with the fact that he played more into the season and Xavier left before the season even started, I think that there's more of a wait and see approach with Xavier Betts because he has all that talent. You saw what he's able to do his first year at Nebraska with the reverses, with a couple catches, and he was just such a highly touted prospect that you want to see him be successful, and you still think he can be successful. With IGC, it's more of a, we've seen you do this before. I don't know if anybody's expecting anything big from him right away, considering some of the other wide receivers in the room, the amount of wide receivers in the room. But I think he's going to be not a favorite target, but targeted a decent amount, considering, again, the amount of youth in this room.
Mm-hmm. So
he's going to be one of the more experienced wide receivers in the room, like top 4 experienced wide receiver in the room. The most experienced receiver returning outside of Marcus Washington.
Yeah, which I don't know. Like, a lot of people are talking Billy Kemp with a big type of year, right? And Nebraska's had it the last 3 years with Samori Toure and Trey Palmer. That, I mean, the transfer wide receiver has definitely benefited the Huskers over the last few years. But now you look at like this upcoming season, and you wonder what kind of role does Marcus Washington play? Marcus Washington is kind of fascinating for me just because he comes here with his quarterback Casey Thompson last season, right? He entered the portal after Casey Thompson did. After Casey Thompson, I believe, even made his decision to come to Nebraska. After he made his decision to come to Nebraska, Marcus Washington then entered the portal, and now Casey is now gone. Obviously, Mickey Joseph and that entire staff that Marcus Washington somewhat committed to at the time has moved on. I don't know if I'm here to say like I was surprised Marcus Washington stuck around, but I think it's a really good thing for Nebraska that Marcus Washington stuck around.
I was surprised he stuck around. You lost your quarterback and you lost your wide receiver coach. I was surprised
you lost your quarterback that you played with at Texas
exactly.
as well.
The guy that and again, not saying he followed him, not saying that happened, but Casey commits to Nebraska. Marcus enters the portal, commits to Nebraska. You 2 and 2 together, whatever. So a guy that you played with at your previous school ends up transferring to a different school. You stuck around. I was surprised, but then again, I don't think he graduated, so he would have had to sit out a year. So there is that caveat onto that. But you have to feel good about him sticking around, because towards the end of the season, as Trey Palmer was doing his thing, getting his receptions and touchdowns and the likes, Marcus Washington, I would like to say, started coming on and getting into his own groove with Nebraska and with Casey Thompson, having a couple clutch catches for the Huskers towards the end of the season. And I think establishing, or at least attempting to establish himself as the number 1 receiver before Billy Kemp transferred in, because people believe that he's going to be the number 1. I still think it's going to be Marcus Washington, but towards the end of the season, establishing himself, or attempting to establish himself as the number 1 returning receiver, as the number 1 receiver for this year's team.
So Marcus Washington caught, last year for Nebraska, played in every game and started 10 of them for Nebraska in 2022, caught 31 passes for 471 yards, which are career highs, and ranked second on the team in both of those categories for receptions and yards. He also caught 1 touchdown pass. And so I guess in a way you're going, all right, well, maybe Nebraska is the place for Marcus Washington. And he saw what Trey Palmer was able to do, and saw and took notes of Samori Toure. But you're bringing Billy Kemp now, and a lot of people feel like, I think he's going to be the number 1 guy. I also don't know how much this team's going to throw the ball. I don't. There's so many unknowns. But now that like college baseball's over, that today really feels it, especially like tomorrow, and once we get to like next Monday, as we put a bow and cover up college baseball season and the College World Series, right? It feels like, all right, time to shift our focus to Husker football season and year 1 under Matt Rule. And we'll have the conversation of schedule talk, and we'll have recruiting discussions more and more as we go along. And we'll continue this conversation going into tomorrow, because obviously Nebraska has another recruit that has a big decision looming tomorrow morning in Carter Nelson, who is a top 50 player in the country, top 50 recruit, that is, the number 1 player in the state of Nebraska, the number 2 tight end in the country, makes his decision, I believe, at 10:30 a.m. tomorrow.
Noon.
Doors
open at 10:30.
Doors open at 10:30.
So if you want to drive 4 hours,
so noon
Ainsworth.
Noon is when the commitment is. 10:30 is when the doors open.
Everyone's invited, he said.
Media as well.
10:30 doors open. It's 4 hours from here. So,
jeez.
Depending on when you want to leave.
Talk about that's crazy. If Husker fans showed up to Carter Nelson's recruitment
and then he commitment to Georgia.
Yeah. But either way.
I think him opening the doors to everyone, usually a good sign.
Usually a good sign
for the state
the
that
home
you're
team.
in. Yeah.
The home team. So
because it'd be crazy to invite everyone and then be like, I'm leaving. Bye.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So anyway, I think Nebraska feels like they're in a pretty good spot there with Carter Nelson. We'll find out for sure from his mouth tomorrow at noon, and so we'll see what happens when tomorrow at noon comes, and I'm sure we'll talk about whatever his decision is tomorrow on the show. Let's take our break. When we come back, we got more Husker stuff to talk about. Maybe we recap, even though we had a baseball corner, Rico, the entire ticket water cooler.
It was necessary.
We didn't really talk about last night's game.
Is there much to talk about?
But one thing that I don't want to get overshadowed is how good of a College World Series it was.
I did mention that with Vershawn and Terrell. I said Nick crunched the numbers, and it was a lot of 1, 2, 3 run games throughout the College World Series. The first championship game was a 1-score game, and the last
extra innings,
and the last 2 just gone.
Complete opposite.
They're like, yeah, okay, we're done.
The complete opposite of what we've seen the entire College World Series. So we might dive into that as well a little bit. And so we'll talk about both Huskers and a little bit of college baseball and firmly put a bow on the college baseball season on a very pro baseball show. Very, very baseball friendly program.
Yeah.
Here on 93.7 The Ticket, ticketfm.com.
Follow Nick and Enrique on Twitter at Nick_Sainert and at Radio Rico AC. More of Happy Hour is next on 97 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, I'm a baseball umpire. My job can get pretty stressful. I have to keep my eyes open at all times, and if I don't make the right call, people boo me. So to relax, I visit a Nebraska lottery retailer like this one and buy some tickets. It always calms me down. Hey, you cut in line.
I did not.
All right, you're out of here.
Hey, he didn't cut.
All right, you're out of here. I feel better already.
The Nebraska Lottery. Top prize odds vary by game.
Hello, Talking Deer here. I want to take this time to thank the Nebraska Lottery. Since 1993, Nebraska Lottery proceeds, over $900 million, have gone to its beneficiaries, including the environment. And since I'm out here in the field every day, I see it firsthand, or first hoof, I guess.
Who are you talking to, dear?
Oh, I was just thanking the Nebraska Lottery and all the people who play for supporting the Nebraska environment.
That's nice, dear.
The Nebraska Lottery. 30 years of building a better Nebraska.
Motor Food is Lincoln's hardest rocking food truck and cafe. Motor Food creates old school comfort food with a 21st century twist and lots of rock and roll attitude. Try the barbecue pulled pork mac and cheese, the grilled chicken Firebird sandwich, a 100% all beef split grilled hot dog, and any version of their funky fries. Stop by the cafe just behind Outback Steakhouse on 48th Street or catch the food truck out and about all spring and summer. Check out their menu, order carryout, or schedule catering at motorfoodtruck.com.
The Butchery by Venue is Lincoln's premier specialty grocers. Take the quality of Venue home with you with our hand-cut steaks, handcrafted burgers, and locally sourced offerings. Browse our wide selection of specialty products designed to enhance your dining experiences with cheeses, spices, sauces, and more. We also have an exclusive collection of liquors, whiskeys, and bourbons at prices you're sure to love. Stop in to the Butchery by Venue today, located in our Venue at Home storefront at 70th and Pioneers, just 2 doors down from Venue Restaurant and Lounge.
Hey, moms and dads, bring the whole crew to a Salt Dogs baseball game and unleash the fun. Visit Haymarket Park all summer for Fireworks Fridays, Souvenir Saturdays, Sunday Family Fun Days, and more. With 50 home games, even weekdays can be unforgettable. Planning an event? Make it a home run with group discounts. When you need an outing the whole family will enjoy, unleash the fun with the Salt Dogs. Call 402-474-2255 or visit saltdogs.com for tickets.
Brown Shoe Fit has all types of shoes for you to excel this summer. Check out their new Keen and Tiva brand sandals for hiking and Olukai sandals for sitting by the pool. Plus, they're stocked up on Hey Dudes to catch you up on the latest shoe fashion. They also have shoes and brands like Brooks, Hoka, Merrell, On, and many more. Browns has the local professionals to get the proper fit, aided by their high-tech foot scanner by Aetrex. Stop by Brown Shoe Fit today, just south of 66 and Q in Lincoln.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now they've raised wages again and they're hiring for production operators at $24.11 per hour, which grows to $28.27 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $32.76 per hour with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or to apply, go to continental-jobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Junior Achievement of Lincoln inspires and prepares young people for success. Learn more about the people involved in the organization and the success stories over the years each Thursday from 7 to 8 p.m. for the Junior Achievement Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Smoked meats, amazing sides. The only problem when they fix you a plate is that at some point, that plate will be empty. But hear me out. What if that plate was never empty? That dream can be your reality with the Mary Ellen's Express Lunch Buffet. From 11 to 2 every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and even Saturday. One price, all you can eat, and it even comes with a drink. Tell your boss you're taking a long lunch and get down there. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul at 29th and Pine Lake. Let them fix you a plate.
You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
A mix of sun and clouds expected today with a high of around 89. Southeast winds could gust over 25 to 30. We will see a chance of scattered thunderstorms moving in this evening into tonight with a low of 67. Then clearing and becoming very hot tomorrow with an afternoon high around 97. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert.
Even before you start. That was a preemptive shh.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
I already had someone created in my image. He's evil, he wants to take over the world, and he fits easily into most overhead storage bins.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Nick, we're getting some fun future Big Ten trash talk. In our YouTube comments.
Let me hear it.
Dallas Schwartz. Welcome to the program, Dallas Schwartz. And you know what? I hope you're a regular listener because you know what? We will talk about USC from time to time. USC fan Dallas Schwartz in our YouTube comments. Good seeing Corn getting it together again. Can't wait for USC to begin play in the Big Ten come the 24 season. Fight on.
Once again, in case you missed it, shout out to Dallas, by the way. But in case you missed it, wide receiver Quinn Clark from Bozeman, Montana, the son of the late Husker running back Ken Clark. Quinn Clark commits to Nebraska, listed 90 pounds, made it public about 33 minutes ago, about at 1 p.m. Central Time. Yeah. And said, quote, "It's really always been the place for me. It was just the fact that I really needed to get to know the Husker staff better to make sure that this is my place. I've always liked this place since I was little. You just got to know the staff first." That's what he said to our good friend Steve Mark of Inside Nebraska, and a little bit of a conversation that he had with Steve. But Quinn Clark, once again, a 6'5", 190-pound wideout from Bozeman, Montana, chose the Huskers over FCS powers Montana and Montana State, as well as Portland State. Nebraska was Quinn Clark's lone FBS offer. So that's basically where we're at right now. Nebraska sits at 20 commits for the 2024 class, potentially 21 if Carter Nelson decides to be in tomorrow. And also, he'll make his decision at noon.
Quinn Clark, the number 1 player in the state of Montana.
Okay, there you go. There it is. I mean, just the moral of the story, here we are. Nebraska, currently, according to 24/7 Sports, sits at 16th in the country in terms of recruiting class. Not going to stay there, probably going to drop a little bit. They have, once again, this is according to 24/7 Sports, 3 4-star commits and 17 3-star commits.
Some of those 3 stars could go up to 4 stars. And you would think, if things go well for Nebraska tomorrow,
there you go.
You would think there is a possibility that that 4-star goes up to a 5-star before the season is over.
There is a possibility.
Possible.
He's on the. I mean,
he's right there.
You can even. I remember having this conversation with like Brendan Radley Hiles, who was a top 45 player in the country, according to the recruiting sites, and it was like, how much difference is there between the 38th best player in the country, who is a 5-star technically, and the 43rd best player in the country, who's a 4-star.
So right now, again, if things go well for Nebraska, he's actually further down in the composite rankings than that. But if things go well for Nebraska, right now, where the 5 stars end is at 32, with Xavier Philsame, a safety out of McKinney, Texas, who's committed to Florida. He is the final 5-star. Right after that, you've got a couple, the high 4 stars, Taylor Tatum, who's leaning to Oklahoma, Cam Williams, Notre Dame, Jaden Davis, Michigan, Dominic McKinley, nowhere, and Air Noland, the quarterback, committed to Ohio State.
Air Noland.
Great name.
I love that.
Great name.
Love the name for a quarterback.
So I hope he's good. I want Nebraska to beat Ohio State, but I hope Air Noland is good.
You want, I mean, this is a good example, because obviously the way that recruiting rankings, when you look at team recruiting rankings on these sites, are kind of put together and measured, is you take the composite score for each recruit, you add it up and you total it. Whoever has the most points has the best class. So basically that's how it's quantified. But I mean, for example, Minnesota has the 14th best class in the country as of right now. They have 23 commits, 1 4-star and 22 3-stars. So once again, it's not going to finish at Minnesota 14th, not going to finish Nebraska at 16th, because here's Matt Rule once again just trying to bank on their ability to evaluate and develop once they get here, rather than trying to take just 5 stars or shooting for the stars. But George, I mean, this is just what's crazy when you see other programs recruiting on a higher level, and there's like Alabama right now currently listed at 32nd in the country.
They're not going to stay there.
Like even Illinois, who's pretty good. Oklahoma's at 45th in the country. Oklahoma State's at 47th in the country. And you sit there and go, okay, why are they down so far? Well, a lot of the guys that they're targeting, number one, haven't made decisions yet, because a lot of the higher profile guys, when they're not a quarterback, they're going to wait until right up to their start of their senior season, if not throughout their season, or even a signing day decision.
Right at the end.
Right? I mean, how many times do we see guys playing in the all-star games and they're saving their decision for those games that they can make on national television?
Doing the little hat thing.
So that's the thing. So
I mean, Texas is at 54, and I understand Texas is hit or miss, and Texas is always back, but they always seem to get top 15 recruiting classes. They're sitting at 54 with 7 commits right now. I can guarantee you Texas is not in the 50s, 40s, or 30s when this class is all said and done.
But and so that's where it's like, I think maybe sometimes we get overwhelmed and too focused on recruiting class numbers.
Mhm.
And so when Nebraska doesn't finish, I don't know. If Nebraska doesn't finish in the top 25, it's not an excuse or reason to panic. I just, although that was something that when you do get a top 25 or a top 20 class in the country, you do sort of hang your hat on, but it's hard to hang your hat on 31 losses in 5 years. So
a little bit.
It's just tough for Husker fans to swallow, understandably. So you look other places though. I mean, just in potential Big Ten teams and recruiting. So obviously we know Georgia with 21 commits as of right now has the number 1 class, and by a long shot. 3 5-stars, 11 4-stars, and 7 3-stars have committed to the Dogs. Ohio State and Michigan are at 2 and 3 respectively. Michigan holds 14 4-stars and 9 3-stars, while Ohio State has 2 5-stars to their name. But look at what Nebraska is going to have to eventually recruit against when USC is in the Big Ten and such. You have 2 and 3 Ohio State and Michigan. Penn State, who necessarily hasn't had spectacular seasons in recent years under James Franklin, they've been fine, but have they really been in a position to win the Big Ten East?
They're always the third best team.
Not like when they had Trace McSorley and Saquon and who's the Chris Godwin?
And even then they were still like the second best team in the East.
But they found themselves in the Big Ten championship.
Yeah.
And so Penn State comes in currently at 6th. USC's at 8th. And then you have Minnesota and Nebraska, I suppose. But if Notre Dame ever joins the Big Ten Conference, they're sitting at 5th in the country right now. If the Big Ten's able to eventually sway Oregon, they're sitting at 7th in the country right now. So it comes to these, what conference realignment might do for college football, Rico. It's going to create some pretty big battles in recruiting.
You want to know something funny? Just scroll down a little bit. Top 45, Oklahoma's 45th.
Mm-hmm.
You know who's just outside the top 45?
Northwestern.
46th.
But Northwestern, they just tack on all these 3-stars
They got
that are super smart.
They got 12 commits, 11 3-stars. So that means they have somebody who's not a star, maybe a 2-star.
We can find this out. Oh, yes, here it is. A wide receiver just committed to them on June 22nd, by the way.
There it is.
I'm going to try to not butcher this last name.
Okay, now I have to open
Brett Eskeldson.
What?
Brett
Yep. No,
Eskeldson.
I see it. From Frisco, Texas.
Yep.
6'2", 185.
Does not have, I mean, it's just all N, non-applicable.
Eskeldson.
There you go.
Offers from Air Force, Army, Colgate, Dartmouth. Smart kid.
Well, then you open up more of his offers.
Grambling, Harvard,
There
Holy
it is.
Cross, Kansas State. There's another Power 5.
Yale.
North Texas, Texas State, Yale, UTSA. Yeah. Smart kid.
It would be interesting to go through some of these, like the Northwestern, Stanford as
Stanford's
well.
in the top 10.
Stanford is in the top 10. It would be interesting just to see how many of these guys have offers from Ivy League schools.
From Yale and Harvard.
Just because I wonder.
Well, now I have to.
I mean, so Northwestern's best commit, according to 24/7 Sports, is Jameer Benjamin, a 5'10" defensive back from West Bloomfield, Michigan, rated as the 481st best player in the country, 9th best player out of Michigan. So it's interesting because he has offers. I mean, first one you see is Stanford, and then down the list, there's no Harvard or Yale in that one though.
Well, I went to Stanford.
Okay.
Their worst recruit, quote unquote, Darius Davis. He is a safety out of Metairie, Louisiana. Okay. Committed to Stanford. Offers include Columbia, Cornell, Georgetown, and then a whole bunch of Louisiana schools.
Yeah.
But Columbia and Cornell, smart.
Very smart.
Smart kid.
And Stanford, obviously.
Yep. Marshall, Mississippi Valley State, Nichols State, Southeast Missouri State, and Southeastern Louisiana.
So it's just interesting to see kind of how everybody,
the different versions of recruiting and
how you
where people are
target,
looking.
how you target guys.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's go ahead. Let's take our final timeout. Rico's got to step out.
Yep. I'm going to peace out.
You're out of here. You got to go to appointment.
Yep. I had fun talking about Stanford and Northwestern commits.
You have to poke your finger.
I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but they're going to test my blood to make sure that I'm a match, because I did a
That's
thing.
right. That's right. We
we
can talk about it.
I did a thing. I think it was through Be the Match a while ago, really, to see if I would be a match for anybody who needed bone marrow, plasma, whatever it was. And I got a call a couple weeks ago that I'm a potential match for somebody.
There you go.
To help out, possibly life-saving. I don't know exactly, but I got to go through this, and they're going to test my blood and stuff to make sure that I am a perfect match. And hopefully I am, so I can help somebody.
That's awesome.
So that's what I'm going to go do here shortly.
Nice work, Rico. So Austin and Strick will join me when we come back. Austin and Strick, obviously fellow baseball guys with myself. So we'll probably discuss the blowout game for LSU that it was last night in game 3 of the title. 18-4. LSU wins the national title. Kind of had to make sure I said that correctly. So we'll talk that with Austin and Strick coming up next.
Did you know they were still outscored in the championship series?
Yeah, the aggregate Florida Gators are the aggregate national champions.
There it is.
Because they scored the most runs. They outscored LSU. But no, we'll talk all that and more as we wrap up Tuesday's show right here, 93.7 The Ticket.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day long wherever you are. More of the happy hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey, CNC machinists, do you feel like you're in a dead-end job with your boss hovering over your shoulder? That's so annoying. Not at Garner Industries. We provide the opportunity and trust our CNC machinists to bring the talent. I'm Bob Williams, HR Director at Garner Industries, and we're looking for new team members in our CNC department. At Garner Industries, you'll work in a clean, climate-controlled, and safe environment with team members who want to see you succeed. You will also enjoy 4-day work weeks, great benefits, and a positive working culture. Interested? Apply on our career page at garnerindustries.com.
Plains Cover Crop is your one-stop seed shop. Call us now for spring and summer forages, CRP mixes, and fall cover crop blends. We do farm-specific consulting for practical and efficient seed blends to fit your geography and goals. With a very diverse inventory, we will tailor a blend just for you. We're also looking for contract growers, and we buy and sell rye. Find us online at plainscovercrop.com. Timeless agronomy practices paired with modern technology. East Highway 20 in Orchard and across Nebraska.
Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Smoked meats, amazing sides. The only problem when they fix you a plate is that at some point, that plate will be empty. But hear me out. What if that plate was never empty? That dream can be your reality with the Mary Ellen's Express Lunch Buffet. From 11 to 2 every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and even Saturday. One price, all you can eat, and it even comes with a drink. Tell your boss you're taking a long lunch and get down there. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul at 29th and Pine Lake. Let them fix you a plate.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now they've raised wages again and they're hiring for production operators at $24.11 per hour, which grows to $28.27 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $32.76 per hour with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or to apply, go to continental-jobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today. You've driven by GE Landscape Supply countless times, likely without even knowing. 6701 Cornhusker Highway. Now it's time to stop in. GE Landscape Supply sells to homeowners and contractors with a vast selection of landscaping and construction materials. They sell in bulk to save you money, and you can buy anything from a 5-gallon bucket to a semi-load. And don't forget, they deliver anywhere. Stop by 6701 Cornhusker Highway from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday and 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturdays. Go to GELandscapesupply.com for more info or call 402-467-1627.
Save money on energy-efficient equipment with the LES Sustainable Energy Program. Nearly half of the financial incentives are still available for qualifying projects. View incentives and learn more at les.com/SEP.
Brown Shoe Fit has all types of shoes for you to excel this summer. Check out their new Keen and Tiva brand sandals for hiking and Okai sandals for sitting by the pool. Plus, they're stocked up on Hey Dudes to catch you up on the latest shoe fashion. They also have shoes in brands like Brooks, Hoka, Merrell, On, and many more. Browns has the local professionals to get the proper fit, aided by their high-tech foot scanner by Aetrex. Stop by Brown Shoe Fit today, just south of 66 and Q in Lincoln.
Neil Armstrong waited 6 hours and 39 minutes to step onto the surface of the moon. Jackie Robinson waited 20 months to his first game with the Brooklyn Dodgers. And even DiCaprio had to wait 22 years to win an Oscar. You can wait until your destination. Don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Beat the heat and make 4th of July truly monumental at Generation V.
Generation V.
This weekend only, Generation V has incredible deals that'll blow you away. Stock up on select disposables as low as $10 and enjoy 25% off all products.
Generation V.
July 1st through 4th, experience monumental savings up to 33% off mods, e-liquid, Delta 8, and more. Generation V with 16 Nebraska locations and a new location at 27th and Superior. GenerationV.com. Vapes contain nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Guys, it's that time again. Another 10-week challenge at Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping is starting on July 8th. I joined Farrell's a little over a year ago, and with their help, I've lost over 125 pounds and can confidently say I'm in the best shape of my life. The 10-week challenge combines kickboxing, strength training, and coaching in a way and achieve for any skill level. And ticket listeners, you can get $150 off the cost of enrollment. Head to theticketfm.com and click on the banner on the homepage to learn more. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 70th and Vine or Pinky Hill.
Hey, you got any gun?
Check my backpack.
What's this?
Oh, that's naloxone. It can reverse an opioid overdose. I decided to always keep it on me after my friend almost died. It saved his life.
I'm so sorry. That makes me want to have it with me too.
You totally should. Check the pharmacy. It was actually really easy to get, and it's easy to use.
I definitely will. Thanks.
Paid for by the CDC. Sponsored by Nebraska DHHS. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Junior Achievement of Lincoln inspires and prepares young people for success. Learn more about the people involved in the organization and the success stories over the years each Thursday from 7 to 8 p.m. for the Junior Achievement Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary.
Look at me. This lane is going Jamaica.
Sponsored by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
The cool vibes. Strick, you like this one?
Okay.
That little clip, in case people have forgotten, it comes from a Frontier airline that mistakenly took a woman to Jamaica instead of New York. She was supposed to go from Florida to her home up here in the summer. Just happened just a couple months ago. She was supposed to go from her winter home in Florida up to her summer home in New York. Instead, without a passport, they flew her to Jamaica. And nobody knew until the middle of the flight. And that's what she said. The stewardess looked at me and said, "Listen to me. This plane is going to Jamaica." But she couldn't get out of the plane in Jamaica because she didn't have a passport. Right. So she had to sit on the plane
until it was ready
to leave again. So that they could fly her back. So that they could fly her back to Florida.
Oh,
Just an
that is
absolutely
horrible.
insane story.
That is horrible.
But it gets
I'm
me
still
every
trying
time.
to understand.
It gets
how
me
did
every
that,
time.
How did they miss that?
I don't know if, well, so like I'm sure she was in the wrong a little bit with going to the wrong gate, boarding the wrong plane.
That's
says-
their boarding
that
pass even
says
work?
to Jamaica? But how? Once again, it was Frontier Airlines.
Okay.
So it's not one of the bigger corporations like
They
the
just were
Southwest.
swiping the thing
Just
and
let her
was
go
like,
without a
"Let's go."
passport, and
Wow.
didn't realize she goes. I looked out and there was nothing but water. And I asked the worker, like, where's this going? And she goes, we're going to Jamaica, or we're going to land in Jamaica in about 30 minutes. And she goes, no, I'm not going to Jamaica. I'm going to New York. And she goes, the worker looks at me and goes, look at me. This plane is going to Jamaica. And she goes, I remember reading the article and she goes, there's just no more of a helpless feeling when you're so far up in the air and you can't do anything about where you're going.
Is this one of the things where you just take your passport everywhere you go?
I don't know.
That's
That's
too
dangerous.
You know what I'm saying?
That
That's
is
dangerous.
So dangerous.
But that is like I have a actual ID passport, but
Okay.
they don't let you do it, but only like, I think you could do it in the Bahamas or Mexico.
Yeah.
It's a passport that's in the ID form. So I have the actual card form and the ID form.
I have the one where it flips up and stuff. So
the worst part to me about that situation is being so close to a free vacation. And like they won't even let her off the plane into the airport to stretch her legs. She's got to stay on the plane. You can't just walk into the airport until the plane's ready, get back on.
Yeah. Well, because
crazy.
so close.
Technically, it was something along the lines of like the plane is part of
It had
U.S.
to be
soil.
hot.
The plane is part of U.S. soil.
It had to be.
But the Jamaican airport is like not part of U.S. soil.
Right. But like just a common courtesy, like, hey, you probably want to stretch your legs, walk around. It'll be an
go
hour
ahead.
or two.
You have security with them or something.
Like clearly she didn't want to go to Jamaica, so she's not a flight risk.
Yeah. But I guess they found out they found a little bit of a problem. So she
Well,
went to
here's the
Jamaica
crazy. Here's one dynamic that I have, and look, don't get your political eyes in a bunch, okay? I'm looking at it from this standpoint.
Yeah,
I was out of the country, and coming, it seemed to me that it was one of the hardest freaking things to do, time consuming, to get back on soil and all of the stuff we had to kind of go through and deal with. But yet you look down on the South right now.
Yeah.
And people, it's a free for all. Like, how is that? To me, it blows my mind how it's so hard for us as citizens to get back in, but it's just like whatever down there right now.
So it's actually interesting that you brought that up. So while I was on vacation last week, I had two of my cousins from San Diego. They live in Lakeside.
San Diego.
San Diego. They live in Lakeside, which is about 30 minutes from San Diego. San Diego. That they're, 15 minutes from Tijuana, right? And they said that they had to buy something where they can go in the faster lane to get back into the States. When they'll drive from like Tijuana back to San Diego, they'll go shop down in Mexico a little bit and then drive back. Anyway, they said that they had to buy something for like $160, sort of like a TSA pre-check kind of thing, that they had to, just so that they can take like the quicker lane, that they still have to wait 20, 30 minutes in.
Yeah.
Instead of waiting 2 hours.
So it's not like a true Disneyland fast pass.
No.
So
it's not like a car wash one either.
That to me
where you just hop
is
right
one
through.
of the crazy anomalies. And I'm sorry I'm jumping into this tangent, but we'll get into the baseball stuff. But we got a few minutes. We got a few minutes.
That's fine. Yeah, we got time.
before
Rico's saving a life, so we're good.
So here's the crazy thing.
Hopefully. Yeah.
Down in Texas, they have something that we don't have here yet, and it's called tollways.
Yeah.
Okay. But then they have also speed tollways, which are like you can just take them to alleviate some of the stresses of having to drive in the main traffic. And depending on where you're going, north or south, during rush hour, you get the open toll road and so forth and so on, right? So the word of it is they pay you as the citizens. It's part of your bill. You pay as a Texas resident, right?
Texas.
That pays for the toll road. It's designed to give you some alleviated pressure, and so to make it a little bit faster. But let me give you this. Two things. Once the toll road's paid for, they're still charging you the toll.
The toll roads are so wild anyway. Like
Okay.
the ones in Kansas, they're like $325.
Crazy.
And I go, you're charging me $325 to drive on
That
this
part.
road.
And you take coins only sometimes.
Yeah, exactly.
It's 2023.
Right?
Take
Right?
a debit card. Take a credit card.
That's one thing. Once it's paid for, you still pay for the toll.
Yep.
2, then everybody begins to get on it. And it's just as bad as riding on the freaking main road and you're getting charged for it.
Yeah.
So that just spoke to what you were just talking about.
Strictly not a fan of toll roads.
I'm not a fan.
Not a fan of toll roads.
Where's it the worst in Texas?
Houston.
Houston. Okay.
Houston traffic by far
Is that why you would never play in Houston? You're a Dallas guy?
Yeah. Dallas is bad. But Dallas has a lot of dips. Where you've heard of that song? Baby dip. Yeah, you can dip.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of ways that
Get off,
okay.
get on.
There's a lot of
ways that you can kind of go
weave in and
other
out,
ways,
weave in and
other
out.
streets. Yeah.
Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification here on the ticket.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. The home of Kansas City Royals baseball. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
All right, let's get into a little bit of baseball discussion, gentlemen, because I know you guys, I'm sure, were in tune to the National Championship Game 3, the deciding game last night from Charles Schwab Field. Great attendance numbers, the entire College World Series, by the way. I think over 24,000 people per game on average, which is really good considering the capacity is around 24,000. So you're around a sellout every single time that somebody took the field in Omaha. But you look at how these last 2 games kind of transpired, and I don't want to overshadow how great this College World Series was in Omaha this last 12 days or so just by those 2 games, right? The 24-4 game and the 18-4 game in games 2 and 3 of the National Championship Series. When you look, I once again, I tweeted it out. I can't remember the day. Yesterday. I tweeted it out yesterday. 8 games in this College World Series, 8 out of 16. Half of the games were decided by 1 run.
Yeah.
And it worked out also in a really good time where those games were decided by 1 run, because it was at the start of the College World Series where people that are casual baseball fans are deciding whether or not they want to stay checked into this series, the College World Series, that is. And when they see, I think it was like 5 of the first 6 of the weekend on that Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 5 of the first 6 were decided by 1 run. They're going, all right, this is competitive baseball. And not to mention, Austin, we already counted like 14 of the top 38 MLB draft prospects were playing in Omaha the last 12 days.
Yeah.
Insane amount of talent.
Yeah. Also, you got to look at just the records that were set.
Yeah.
On top of that, I mean, that's something to think about. You have 3 teams overcoming a deficit of 3 or more runs, which tied the most in CWS since they moved to the Chuck in 2011. You have Florida hitting 17 home runs, which also tied the record that was set by who they were playing, LSU and also USC in '98. And the longest home run hit in the 12 that were hosted in the new ballpark downtown were blasted by Florida's Wyatt Langford at 456 yards. So, I mean, there's more, but that's just to speak to why the people were excited, the teams that were involved. And then there's something that we're going to talk about, with regards to, once again, SEC team. We're going to talk about that on the block today a little bit. What does this mean for SEC dominance, so forth and so on.
In baseball and across, other sports as well.
Yeah.
So we'll get into that. The thing about the College World Series too is there's something for everyone. You had, those bang bang plays. Think of the Wilkin play at third base with the tag as the guy's trying to Superman past. You think of Trey Morgan the next night, with his flip on the button. He had the defense there. You had the pitching showdown between Skeens and Lauder. That was absolutely insane. You had the drama, you had the offense. It was a College World Series for everybody. And I get it. We ended up with 2 SEC teams and, 2 of the top 5 teams in the country at the end of it, but they earned their way there. It wasn't like they had a cakewalk through Omaha. So just an incredibly, well-constructed College World Series by whoever the script writers were.
Well, and that's something that we talked about at the Blur events that we were at on that opening Friday. Was you look at just from the bigger picture, you look at the 8 teams that made the field. You talk about having something for everybody. You had a quote unquote Cinderella, which you can't call him that anymore, in Oral Roberts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oral Roberts, who made it and actually held their own pretty well in the field. Yeah. You had the teams of Virginia who obviously won a national title, I believe, in 2015. And so Virginia wins that. They're back in Omaha. You have Stanford back for the 3rd year in a row, looking for that elusive national championship again. You have obviously TCU, who has been in the College World Series.
Tennessee Redemption.
Yeah, Tennessee Redemption after not making it after being the number 1 overall seed last year. LSU is finally back, and everybody knows how much attention LSU brings to Omaha. You had a little bit of everything.
New kid on the block in Wake Forest.
Exactly. You had a little bit of everything right from the get-go. And then on top of that, you have the 5 of the first 6 games that are decided by 1 run just to get you through the opening weekend. And then, by the way, you have guys that are throwing 100 miles per hour consistently on the mound. You have unbelievable talent in the box and in the field. Some coaching mishaps that make some national headlines where you forget how many mound visits you have. Just some weird things like that go on. And then not to mention, just strictly on the field, an LSU team who was preseason number 1, has all the expectations in the world, almost looked like they were going to get eliminated, had to beat the team that took that number 1 ranking from them in the middle of the season, had to beat that team twice and do it against Wake Forest, probably one of the best pitching staffs in the country, and had to beat them twice, did so just to make it to the national championship series where they win a tough fought one in extra innings and then get blown out in game 2, only to turn around and blow out Florida in game 3.
Great stories.
Just unbelievable storyline if you truly think about it.
There's only one thing that could have made the College World Series better. Well, 2.
What's that?
Nebraska being there. And number 2, having the draft there this weekend.
Yeah.
Have the draft in Omaha over the College World Series.
It's
better for everyone.
We've talked about the draft, right? And
how many rounds is it now?
20.
20.
That was something I always enjoyed growing up, where we were able to watch the game, whether it was on TV, whether it was going to the game, and you look at the rosters beforehand to see, who am I going to see at the 1:00 game today, and going, all right, where'd this guy get drafted? He was drafted in the 3rd round by the Pittsburgh Pirates. Great, cool. He was drafted in the 8th round by the Twins, right? You kind of lose that. You don't have that anymore.
No.
And that also gave the ability for some of the broadcasters as well to have a talking point, right? And some interesting conversations. Like I remember I brought it up to Rico
even if it's fillers.
Yeah. And
no fillers.
Yeah. I even brought it up to like Rico in the noon hour where it was like, I remember Dansby Swanson getting told after their super regional win that he got picked number 1 overall. And like those videos that you get to see, and then that excitement building up around just college baseball, where it's Dansby Swanson, the number 1 overall pick. Now, granted, we saw what we're going to see in the number 1 pick in Dylan Cruz and Paul Skeens and Wyatt Langford, probably the top 3 picks in some order. We saw that over the last 12 days, but you knew it. It was a fact that, hey, Dansby Swanson went number 1.
He is
He is going to be in Omaha, and he gives you an opportunity to go check it out on a space where college baseball a little more intimate, I think, than professional baseball, and it's still a better opportunity to maybe, be at the hotel and hang out and see them in the lobby and stuff like that for fans.
And I think it would be better for Major League Baseball too. The NFL draft, we know how big a deal that is. Strick, we spent a couple weeks breaking down the NBA draft and a couple days after it talking about it. There's no talk about the MLB draft. There's none. So for
it gets mulled over a little bit.
Absolutely. And part of that is because it's 20 rounds long. It's hard to stay, that locked in. I don't know what some of the teams are even doing that late in the draft. I mean, they're probably not locked in, but at the same time, if you can generate as much hype for your first round as maybe not the NFL or NBA, but you got to start trying to catch them, make it an event. If you can give those college guys another moment to either, salvage their weekend after their team gets eliminated or add to the best weekend of their life, that's awesome. Invite the high school guys. They're prep guys picked, in the first round every year. Those are guys that aren't going to go to college and experience Omaha. Give them a taste of the College World Series It's like, okay, yeah, I never went to college, but being in that environment, I really felt like I got, a little taste of the experience, kicked my professional career off really well.
By the way, guys, we talked, and I don't want to take too much of the College World Series reaction from you guys, because I know you're going to be talking about that. We were talking about strikeout rate. MLB average is 22.4% of the time MLB hitters are striking out in the big leagues. Dylan Cruz is at 18%. Wyatt Langford, 17.9%. So two guys that are going to go either 1, 2, or 3 with Paul Skeens mixed in there. Two of the guys that are going to be, and that's in their career. So through 3 years at the SEC level, they've been a 17 or 18% strikeout.
If you look up the strikeout rates for all three of those guys, you'll be blown away by just how low Cruz and Langford's is, but also how high Skeens is.
Yeah. They're just so enjoyable to watch. And that's why, like this year, 352,000+ fans attended the College World Series in Omaha. More people just attended just the atmosphere and came down and hung out.
And it was really chill.
It was good. It was great weather.
The weather was fine.
And stuff like that. You obviously have the other parts of like the old mattress factory where all the younger folks can go, and you have Rocco's with the Jello shots, and you have all this other stuff that has made Omaha and the College World Series now so special. A College World Series like this is what the NCAA envisioned when they built Charles Schwab Field. Right? Where it was still the games are spectacular. Maybe you have, because the games were so good from start to finish, from first game on Friday to last game on Monday. The games were so good and still competitive enough to where those 24-4 games, or even that 18-4 game, they're a fluke. They're a drop in the bucket. Right? The loss for LSU, who was the eventual national champion, the game that they lost to put them in the losers bracket, looks like a fluke or a drop in the bucket where it's, hey, you just dropped one, because they came all the way back. It made everything work out so well the last week and a half in Omaha that I don't know if it could have been much better. I really don't. So, what's coming up on the show today, gentlemen?
A lot of stuff. Still a little College World Series reaction to get to.
Yeah.
We'll get to some NBA stuff. I'm confused by Damian Lillard's motivations. I really am. I don't know exactly what he's thinking, and I want to talk to Strick about that, what the different options are. Then a lot of NFL as well. Strick saw something interesting: the most quarterback-proof offenses in the NFL. What makes an offense quarterback-proof, and which offenses are those? And then which college football coaches, if there are any, could jump to the pros?
Ryan Day?
Maybe not.
I don't like necessarily the move, but it's been in discussion. All right, all that and more coming up on the block with Strick and Austin. Shout out to Rico for hanging out with me for the last 2 hours or so. Thanks to these guys for jumping in as well for the crossover. Stick around on the block with Strick and Austin coming up next. Stay with us. 93.7 The Ticket, ticketfm.com. Rico and I will talk to you at 1 p.m. tomorrow.
Beat the heat and make 4th of July truly monumental at Generation V.
Generation V.